All right, hi, I'm Sheriff Mikesell. I'm with the Teller County Sheriff's Office. I want to give you an update on the fire. Right now, we're showing 15% containment. That comes from our IC out at the fire area. Our maps now show 166 acres. I want to kind of explain why we're now at 166 acres after the 98 that we presented earlier. A lot of that's from our last flyover. And what that identifies is we did back burns last night to keep the fire from being able to encroach upon the active roadways and to keep it out of homes. So most of that growth that you're seeing is us actually back burning to keep the fire in a management area. So that helps us keep the black between us and where the active fire is. So that's why you're seeing that growth, but we're at 166 acres at this time. Right now, we have the same areas in Highland Lakes that are actually evacuated. There's been no change to the evacuations. I will tell you that we're close to 700 homes that are evacuated, and we're almost about 300 million in just property assets that people are evacuated from that are threatened by the fire. The same thing for pre-evacuations. We're around 650 homes that are pre-evac'd with about the same dollar value to it. So right now, there's a lot at risk with this fire. I'm getting a lot of messages about people asking, when are we going to go home? Why aren't we home yet? Here's the problem with a fire. There's not an exact science that tells me and gives me a countdown as to when you can get home. I wish I could. If I could let you go home yesterday, I would have. The problem is if I let people back in and something changes because of these really high winds, we're sustaining 50 and some mile an hour winds. We're getting 60 mile an hour over gusts. That can drive a fire very quickly if we would have a tree torch or something else to where we then spot fire. And we have all these crews committed to the fire lines. It's hard for us to fight a fire if we're now having to try to evacuate everybody again. So that's why we don't allow people to go back into their homes unless they need special things like medications, or we're trying to pick up animals, or we're doing those types of things. And we've given some capabilities for people to get those animals or medications out. What I will tell you, understand this, I can't let you back in until we can let you back in. And that has to come through a fire science method of really looking at the actions of the fire and making sure it's a safe time to go back in. Because I don't want to put our first responders at risk. I don't want to put citizens at risk. So no, we understand the frustration, but we have to wait until we have that information. And right now we're doing so. Active investigation on the fire. We've had a lot of requests to say, are you working with the DA's office? We're still in the initial investigation, all right? We do have a structure that was burned, so we're looking at how it was burned, why it was burned, what happened with it. So until I have all that information back from our detective units and the state of Colorado's detective group that are actually looking at it, I can't formulate or format what it is that may have caused the fire or how it started. So once we get there, I'll be able to release that information to you, and we'll do that as soon as possible. Right now, we still have the same evacuation points, so they're still going to the church in Woodland Park. We're working through those issues. And right now, I will tell you, those fire crews out there are doing an amazing job. I went out and I drove the fire lines with the fire chiefs and everyone else, and just trying to get out of the car is not easy right now with the wind gusts and really what's happening, which is driving the smoke. It's hard to breathe. There's just a lot going on out there. So hats off to these fire guys. If they hadn't done the back burns last night, we hadn't done the dozer lines, we hadn't done the things that were done, it'd be a much different story today. I've had some questions about what do I mean when I say aggressively fighting the fire, and the fire is aggressive. So there's two parts of that. This was an aggressive fire because it has such high winds, and it has such a possibility of growing exponentially very quickly inside of a subdivision. So it's an aggressive fire for us. Secondarily, it's aggressive for us to fight the fire, to put this many hand crews, this many engines, this many brush trucks, this much air on something so quickly. And I will tell you that the state fire brought in the aircraft this morning. The seats did some drops. We were able to really hit that fire hard before they had to move those aircraft out because of the winds. So it made a huge impact. So I want people to know that the fire agencies involved and all the first responders are doing unbelievable work out there to make sure that we don't lose any more structures and that we're able to get people back in as soon as possible. So bear with us, and we're really trying to push hard on this. Dan, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, and then I'll be followed by Senator Mark Basie, sir. We appreciate you coming up. I know you'll have a few words. Hey, just want to reiterate one thing, how grateful Teller County on behalf of all the commissioners is to our first responders. To add to what Jason said about folks that want to go back home, that's a deliberate operation. That's not a open up, let come, we'll have to pull first responders off of the fire to make sure people come in safely. As of today, as of right now, we haven't had anybody hurt. We haven't had any first responders hurt. We haven't had loss of life or limb, and it'd be a real shame to do that, just trying to bring people back home. And for the folks that are missing medication or need to get back, that's being handled. So talking to the people of Teller County, the great residents, please just have some tactical patience. Trust your first responders. We'll get you back home, and it may be a while, but you'll get home deliberately and safely, and that's our concern. Mission failure would be losing somebody on the way home who is in a hurry to get home in the dark. So I really appreciate that. Thanks for all your leadership too, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yeah, I'm just here for support, really. Just coming to offer my support. If there's anything that we can do from the state level, and obviously the governor has already stepped up in a big way, and we appreciate Governor Polis providing all the assets. Amazing what these folks are doing. Amazing what Sheriff Mike Sell is doing. He's fighting this fire smart, and they're all hard. So I want to run out there and shake everybody's hand, but I want to stay out of their way at the same time. So trying to strike that right balance. But mostly I just want to be here to offer any support and appreciate Representative Pedersen's office that's here and all the national assets everyone's piling on. Those winds are strong. They are steady and they are strong. So let's just pray that there's some moisture right behind it, and that comes in and helps the firefighters on the front lines. So anyway, thanks to everybody in the media for being here and keeping the communication going.
Yeah, let me answer one more thing. I just want to emphasize there are several ways to get information about this fire. One is through the Teller County Facebook site. Two is through the Teller County website. Third is through Teller County website, the local government websites. The biggest one is you guys as media. I want everybody to know that if you don't have cell phones, you don't have emails, you don't have Facebook, you don't have any of these other things, turn on your local news channels. They are covering this very, very well. I was watching it earlier today. About every news channel has the tickers going across the bottom. That is a good source of information to be able to get for you to know when you can go home, what's happening with the fire, and actually to see the fire maps as well. We will be posting a fire map also here at the Sheriff's Office front lobby. We'll be posting a fire map at the shelter so people can go there and look at it. But that is your best source for all news feeds coming out of Teller County. Yes, sir.
So, Sheriff, on the investigation, I know you said that you guys are still looking into it and there's still lots to kind of get done in the background, but you mentioned yesterday this was human caused. You were looking at potential criminal charges. Is there a person, multiple suspects? Is there a number of people that you can say at this point that would be tied to this fire at that alleged house?
You know, I wish I could give you more than what I gave you yesterday. We are looking at it is human caused, whether accidental or criminal, but we do look at it as a criminal case to investigate it. Yes.
You mentioned the high dollar amount value of the assets that are threatened by the fire. What do you want to say to the people about holding whoever it is that is responsible accountable for what happened?
Yeah, I will tell you, we have the 4th Judicial District, Michael Allen. That is a person that doesn't back down from dealing with people that do something wrong. We'll put together the best case we can. If the person is involved is guilty of something or thought to be guilty of something. But right now, all we're doing is an investigation. So.
Sheriff, is it accurate to say that it started as a structure fire at that one home?
Yes. Yes. Yes, sir.
Just a little setup on this. You know, we had Waldo that went into homes. We had Black Forest that showed how it happens when you get trees. And then we had the Marshall Fire that had winds like this. Is any of that in your mind and how I call this a fast attack on this? Colorado has evolved in how it's fighting fires. Are we seeing that in what's going on right now?
Yeah. You actually hit it on the head, right? So here's the issue that we see in evolving of fires. We used to deal with slower fires. I was here during the Hayman. I was here during the Waldo. I've been here during so many fires I can't even remember, and running operations with the fire chiefs. The thing about fires in Colorado is we are seeing a pickup of pace because we have drier seasons. There is some change in really the environment on how we look at fires too. The other issue too is we didn't used to expect to have fires start in the middle of a subdivision. I can't stress that enough. That wasn't part of the plan in the past, is having one start in a subdivision. We used to have time to run operations where we could ask people to evacuate, give them pre-evacuation notices. Now, in the middle of the night or middle of the day, we may have to give an immediate evacuation. Just like on the Marshall Fire or any other fire. When you have the lack of moisture, you have the high winds, those are all a recipe for disasters, right? So, and that's exactly why we're treating this fire very aggressively, and we're very nervous about the fact of letting people back in, because at any given moment, the fire could jump 10 miles in a matter of a very short time. So to have that type of fire capability is really what we're looking at. It's the capability of the fire.
Just to follow up, do you have to be cautious about saying when you come back, because all it takes is one ember to get out of the fire zone and then suddenly, boom?
Yeah, and here's the thing in Colorado, we've seen one cigarette butt cause fires that have been massive catastrophes. It only takes one ignition source, right? And if we can't get on it within seconds, because of those high winds, we could have a fire now it grows and become something that we can't get ahead of. So, yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Can you kind of paint the picture of this happening in a subdivision, how quickly you were able to evacuate people, get them out of that area? And then also, can you talk about the weather, kind of what you hope happens and what you're dealing with now?
Yeah. So, here's the thing in answering your question. In subdivisions, right, you have houses that are fairly close together. A fire ignites and starts into the grasses or the duff that surrounds those areas, it can spread rapidly. So our fire agencies, because we deal with a lot of fires in Teller County, we have resources where we put out a wildland task force call. That means all agencies are sending people to it immediately. I sign an agreement with them every year. So all the fire agencies are part of the same organization when the bigger fires start to occur. So as that fire grows, a fire chief will say, hey, it's outside of our capabilities, and then the county resources are coming in. If it's growing outside of a county, and that's what sheriffs are for, is to identify that, is then we have agreements with the state to come in with all their assets. And then really that chain reaction happens very quickly depending on how many structures are at risk and or how fast that fire is moving. So this fire, from ignition to bringing in that wildland task force, was immediately. And I think they had fire crews within maybe 15 minutes at most, which is really a pretty quick response from time of dispatch to time of getting on scene to start putting something on it. And that's one of the reasons we're able to deal with the fires here in this county so well. So once that occurs, and now the state's coming in and we have all the other resources coming in, that's to pinch that fire and try to slow it down in certain areas. But the head of the fire is where we're really getting the heat and the movement. That changes with the wind. So a fire then turns on a direction that we weren't set up for, then it starts to move that way, and we've got to redirect all the different agencies. So it can get broad very quickly. So if that answers your question, that's kind of how the response looks.
And do you know a ballpark of how many first responders are attacking this or working on this?
Yeah, it's over 150 at this time. Yep. So about one fireman per acre. Very close.
For a 90-acre, well, 100 and whatever we have to do, but start at 90. That's a lot of people quick, isn't it?
That's a lot of people quick. Yeah, very quickly. Yes, sir.
And talking with Search and Rescue earlier, monitoring the fire, there was some concern about people in pre-evacuation areas and smoke inhalation. Can you talk a little bit about best course of action for people in pre-evac who maybe might be worried that they should be leaving?
Yeah, here's the thing about pre-evacuation in Colorado. That really is a call to either start evacuation depending on medical abilities or getting your stuff out in time. The time to evacuate is usually not when you're told to evacuate. Really, you want to start getting things out if I'm in a pre-evacuation mode. And I know that's probably adverse to what you think about, but truly, if I'm put into a pre-evacuation mode, that means somebody's saying there's a possibility this fire is going that way. So why not start getting your stuff out or getting ready to move your stuff out ahead of where that fire is? Because we've seen so many times with these fires how quickly it can jump. So we're looking at what's called trigger points. And those trigger points, once breached, then identify where it goes. But like with a fire like this, if it's being driven at 50 miles an hour with 60 some mile an hour gusts, how fast can that fire move? Well, as fast as the wind pushes it. So how far from that trigger point to that pre-evacuation zone is it? It could be pretty quick. So that's why if you can prep and prepare to move out prior to having an evacuation, you're in a much better shape.
And I know some people have been taking advantage of going to their homes for the life-saving medication. Are you allowing people into their homes to pick up their ballots to vote as well?
We've actually discussed that this morning. Right now, because we still have until November 5th we're saying just medications for today, let's reassess it, because we want to make sure, or people can go straight to their ballot boxes, and straight to the voting polls, and they can actually vote there. But yes, if we're still in an issue tomorrow, we'll be looking at getting people in if they want to get their ballots, yes. We want people to vote, so. Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you have a ballpark how many people took advantage of going to their homes to get their medications?
You know, I don't. I haven't looked at that list. I just came off that fire line. I wanted to make a tour of it and talk with the fire chiefs. Really, my job is to support them and making sure they get everything they need, because that's really where the fight's at, is with them, and they're doing a wonderful job. So really making sure they have everything they need at a county level, a state level, is really what I'm here for.
And how are the high winds going to affect fire mapping since the aircraft's been pulled?
Well, it's going to be tough because we can't fly the aircraft in to actually take a look at these things from the air. So it slows down our fire mapping capabilities. My hope is that we get a bunch of snow tonight. But then again, here's the thing about snow. Even the Marshall Fire, snow didn't help stop it, right? So we need sustained moisture of some type. Yes, sir.
People are saying, I want to go in because they're not seeing smoke. Yeah. What did you see on the ground? Are you seeing embers? Are they having flare-ups?
Yeah, we are having a lot of that. So we are getting embers and flare-ups within the black. Now, here's the thing. Being out there and watching the wind, we have such high wind gusts and such a sustained wind that smoke is staying right on the ground. It's just blowing sideways. If you look out at the flags out here, I'm waiting for my flagpole to come down. So the issue is that it dissipates the smoke faster. You still smell it in the air, but you're not seeing those huge smoke plumes, which is very deceiving for the public, because usually the public is looking at these huge smoke plumes, and we all know, well, that's a problem. Well, the bigger problem, if you don't see the smoke plumes and you're still smelling it and it's still pushing it, and we're telling you, hey, there's still a danger, it's because we're not getting the smoke plumes. It's because it's pushing a fire, or the possibility to push a fire very quickly.
What resources, any extra resources, are standing by in case this fire does grow?
Yeah, so the state of Colorado also has extra resources they're looking at right now. We do have the crews that went home already that'll be coming back. So we do have extra resources, and we can put out more requests. But this is getting into off-season on fire units also. And then also it's hunting season. It's also, when people are getting away, so there's a lot of aspects to this that, it's really a bad time of year. Plus the cold, it's really after fire season, but really our fire seasons in Colorado are getting longer and longer. So, yes, ma'am.
Can you talk about the exception for the hunters?
Yep. So that exception for hunters is on our fire ban. So we have a stage 3 fire ban. That stage 3 fire ban for us disallows shooting recreational in the forest, BLM areas on private property. But what we didn't want to do is have hunters that are legally hunting in Colorado that have a time period when they're able to hunt be cut off from something they paid for and something they've looked forward for all year, and really that's not something that causes our fires. So we did do a carve out in the county through the commissioners to be able to allow hunting to be done in the backcountry in Teller County. Any other questions? Well, folks, thank you so very much. What I'm going to do, because I don't know where I'll be here in the next couple hours, is what I'd like to do is set up for the next media appointment when I actually have information. So my PIOs are going to be putting out that request to do another media briefing. All right?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.